everyone, and welcome to Stampin' on the Hill. I'm Deb Kais, and thanks for joining me today. I have today a new sketch, February. It's February of 2024. So I'm going to try to offer a new sketch each month. We'll see how this goes, but hopefully you'll get some inspiration from it and stamp along with me. So use the supplies you have. I'll have some other samples at the end with some ideas as we go along on tips. So you don't have to have exactly the products that I use. And let me show you the sketch here. It was also posted as a photo on the Stampin' on the Hill Facebook page. But here we go. Look at this. This is the sketch. So, and the key in my sketch says, shows that the patterned cardstock or the patterned panels that are on there are usually a DSP, or it's embossed cardstock, or you can make up your own, whatever you like. And then the solid colors that are there is just plain cardstock, or, in this case, the little stripe that goes across the whole center, you could make that into a ribbon if you want, or linen thread or something. I'll show you what I mean in a few minutes. Let's get to stamping. I'm going to show you first what we're using. So I have, because it's Valentine's Day, we're going to be making a Valentine card. So I'm using the Bee My Valentine stamp set. I'm also using the Bee Mine designer series paper. I'm using Sweet Sorbet ink, and this is going to be really simple, so you'll see. And a couple other things. I'm using the Deckled Circles dies, and I'm using 1, 2, 3 from the center out. I'm using the 4th and 5th, and you'll see we're going to make a layer out of those. And let's see, I've got well, let's just start building it. So I have the designer series paper, and these are cut at 1 3/4 by 4. And we're just going to, like the sketch showed, these I made so that I'm going to try to line them up next to each other so that I'm kind of just dry fitting them and making sure that the border all the way around is about even. So I'm going to slide them over just a little bit more. And then what I like to do is put the middle one down first. So I'm going to peel that one up. I'm going to put some adhesive on it. And I like using green glue. This is the back side of that, but I thought that was too many yellow bees. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here. And then try to put this back down in about the center. Using the green glue is helpful for wiggling things around. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Here we go. All right. But once I have my center one in, I can easily just butt them up and do the rest. So a little more glue here. And in this particular example, I'm butting the DSP right up to the DSP. I'm not leaving any kind of a gutter in the inside at this time. Again, you can do it however you like. If you were going to put a gutter in between, in the 2 spaces here between the 3 pieces of DSP, you'd want to cut this a little bit shorter. So instead of, this is 1 3/4 wide, instead of 1 3/4, you might want to make it, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. And I have an example using it that way too. I'll show you. Then let's see, we're going to get the stamping part out of the way first. So let's set this aside. I'm going to bring in a mat. Stampin' Pierce mat to stamp on. And I've already gone ahead and cut out my deckled rectangle circles. So this is the petal pink in the larger size. And then this is basic white in the little bit smaller size. Like I said, I used the 4th and 5th. So this is the 4th from the center and this is the 5th from the center. And we're going to grab our Sweet Sorbet ink. And I've mentioned this a few times, but it's worth mentioning again. On the back of your DSP, let me show you. The back side of your DSP, this is my messy DSP packet. Right about here, it tells you all of the colors that are used in the DSP. So it's really easy to plan for what colors you want to use to coordinate with it. So that's why I chose the Sweet Sorbet and the Petal Pink, because both of those colors were listed in this. I'm going to ink up You'll Always Be the One for Me. And I'm going to put that on the front of my card. So that's going to layer with this, but I'm going to do the stamping all first. So let me bring in the chamois and clean this off a minute. And then, oh, I forgot to mention, I also in this one have a piece of just basic white cardstock that's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And this is going to be for the inside. Sometimes I don't put a piece on the inside if it's light enough to write in, and if it seems kind of dark and the words will get lost or when you're writing your message on the inside, then I will sometimes add a piece of white cardstock in there. So this one's just going to say Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to leave it up a little bit more than center. I centered it left to right, but it's a little bit higher than center vertically. And again, get that cleaned off. And I think that's all the stamping we have. So close this up so we don't get something, our hand or something in it. And then I'm going to layer these together. So again, with the glue, set this aside so we don't accidentally get glue on it. And I usually always glue from the smallest layer. I put the glue on the smallest layer, and then in that way I don't have to guess where on the pink layer, the larger layer, the glue needs to go in order for this to line up. And then we're going to put some glue on the inside one. And again, you don't need a lot. A little bit of glue. Let's set this on the inside. Layer this in, and it just mats nicely in there with about 1/4 inch difference. And then, okay, so here's another trick. I took, because I don't have ribbon that matches, so I'm going to make my own. So I took this blue variegated ribbon. What's it called? It is called, easy for me to find, variegated ribbon. That's all it's called. And it's got that little light blue color on one side and it's white on the other side. So I took a piece, I measured out how much I needed, and let's get this out of the way. And I ended up taking a blend pen, one of the Stampin' Blends, and I didn't have the Sweet Sorbet, so I chose to use Dark Poppy Parade. And you just use the brush side of this, and you just, I kind of just did this to it, so I could sort of make my own. And it bleeds through because this is a blend, so it's alcohol based. So it definitely bleeds through the ribbon so that the other side looks about the same. You can kind of see, if you look really close, you can kind of see there's a little bit of darkness down here where that blue was, but I'm going to flip it over and use the side. So that's how I make my own. We're going to flip this in here on the inside. And I only cut enough ribbon to tie a knot. We're not doing a bow today. So I'm going to go from the left over to the right and pull this tight this way. And give me a little bit of a, we can straighten it out in a minute. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go around this way with it. And I'm going to twist this as I'm pulling it through. I'm going to twist it so that, gently, twist it so that my knot, or my ribbon ends, I should say, are the same on both sides. And I'll come in with my scissors and trim those up. Let's see, I think I want it to go this way. And this way too. There we go. And then I can move this. So I want this to go here. So I probably want to move my ribbon this way a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals. I'm going to put the dimensionals on the top and the bottom sides of my circle on the back, so that it goes over the top of my ribbon. For circles, I usually only use 3. And I know this is kind of weird, but I wanted to make sure that they were on the bottom rather than, usually I would do in a total triangle. But we're going to put this here. And so this is my idea of what, I can tighten this up a little bit now, I think. There we go. This is my idea of what my Valentine card will be using the sketch that we showed. So there's that. I made a couple other ones. This one, I find that I'm running out of sympathy cards, and that's kind of sad to say that there are that many that I need. But this one I used the Meandering Meadow DSP, and you'll notice that there's more of a border around here. So I made sure that I cut my strips a little bit more narrow. I want to say these are 1 3/8. I think that's what they are. And then I just tried it, but then I used the gutter method on these. My greeting, I used the, hold on, I have my little cheat sheet here. I used the stylish shape, so you can kind of see, hold it up, you can kind of see the little stitched edge to that. And I used the greeting comes from the Something Fancy stamp set. And then I used linen thread for the middle. The purple color background is actually called Orchid Oasis, and I used Orchid Oasis to stamp the greeting as well. And then what I did is I took this circle and I held it between my, I'm not going to be able to show you. I held it between my fingers. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the purple color around the edge? So I took it and I sort of rolled it across the ink pad in order to get that little bit of purple around the edge. So there's that one. And then this one is, instead of using DSP, I chose 3 complementary colors. And this one uses Crumb Cake for the base. It uses Pretty Peacock, Pecan Pie, and Blueberry Bushel. And then instead of making, because this ribbon is actually part of a combo set that's called Real Red and Burlap Ribbon. And the Real Red is thinner, but it didn't match anyway. So I used the burlap ribbon in here, but I ended up just cutting it off at the edges rather than wrapping it around the whole card like I did with the others, because I'm hearing complaints that things aren't going through the post office if they have any bumps in them anymore. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try to make this one flat. So I adhered the ribbon down on here with some glue dots. And then I also put glue dots on the top edge and the bottom edge and put those down with my greeting. The greeting and the punch are from the Heartfelt Hexagons. And I've got these two dies come as a set that are called they're called Stripes and Splatters, so aptly named. And then this one's called Timber, the one in the center. So, and I didn't put anything in the middle of that one. Oh, this one I did though, in the center. I had a couple more little strips. When I cut these all up, there was a little bit more, so I cut them in half and I added them to the edge of that. So there are your 3 cards. Can't even hardly see them. But let's see. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this little sketch challenge, and I hope to see some of your cards. Let us know in the comments and post your cards as a comment if you choose to take the challenge, and I hope you do. Just so you know, every Wednesday I have a new video. So please come back and watch next week. And I'd love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can also see older videos. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.